I'm CK. Tonight we've got another module from AI Synthesis. This is a voltage control filter from them. We've done a couple of theirs in the past, liked them pretty well, so we'll see how this one goes together. Hope you enjoy the video. Here's the bag from AI Synthesis out of Portland, Oregon, USA. Part number in their typical branding, AI004. Pull this off, recycle that. Try and open the bag. And let's look at the front panel first. It's a fiber panel, not a metal panel. So we've got 20 hertz, 20 kilohertz on the filter, high pass, low pass switch, resonance pot, I assume, CV1 in, CV2 in, I assume, master in. I guess there are two inputs and one output. Actually, is that two CV1s and one CV2, and maybe these are, so we'll have to figure that out. I'm not real sure, which is okay. Let's look at the circuit board now, and I'm gonna rip the bag open because I'm like that. This is scored, so we'll be breaking this apart. Their typical Woody Guthrie slogan, "This machine kills fascists." Good board, all through hole plated as usual. MS.20, if you're nasty, they may be referring to the Korg MS-20. He may have based some of this on that. This is version 2.5. And a couple of things on the back of the board, as you can see here, because that's where we're looking right now. There's a resonance drive trimmer, an A trim. I'm not sure what A means in that instance. And then there's a tune, a couple of caps, and on this side we've got, these two CV1 and CV2 right here are not jacks, they're pots. And then this CV1 and CV2 in and out are jacks. And resonance is of course a pot. HP high pass, low pass is a switch, of course. And then this thing, I'm trying to line this up so I can see. That's another pot, an 850, no, I'm sorry, a 50K pot for frequency. So that looks pretty straightforward. Power cable, a card telling us if you have a problem, just call them, which is great. Another AI Synthesis sticker, which we don't need because we already got one. And then again, unfortunately, tons of little Ziploc bags, each one containing a component. That's just, again, it's just, I don't like it. It's just a waste of plastic. But we'll deal with it. I just wish people would find another way, like someone like Division 6 has done with their packaging, is much more friendly. Let's see, we got a couple of chips in here. We got a, and also if you're going to print labels, you should have all the text fit on the labels and not be cut off, or else that makes no sense. So we've got a LM13700, which I don't know what that is, and a TL074, which is an op amp. Oh, I see what this is. This is the name of the product. So it doesn't matter so much if it's cut off. Let's do a quick look here and see what an LM13700 13700 datasheet. Dual transductance amplifier with linearizing diodes and buffers. Okay, so it's a buffered op amp effectively. Trimmers, pin headers, knobs. Okay, knobs. This one's got a metal set screw with a metal backing plate for the set screw so it doesn't strip the threads in the plastic, which is always good. A whole bunch of little standard electronic bits and pieces. Spacers. Resistors. Let me separate out all the resistors because we'll be doing those first. Good quality pots. Make sure I didn't miss any resistors here. And I didn't. Oh, yes I did. There we are. And there we are. Okay, let's see if by any chance there's a build guide available. Go to AI Synthesis homepage and shop now for modules and wait for the page to load. Yeah, I've built two of theirs so far. I've built their looping ADSR and their dual VCA mixer. They've got a couple of other things that are interesting. They've got a tape echo interface. I may take a look at that. But we're looking at the voltage controlled filter today. See if it's got a build guide. Does it have a build guide? Doesn't look like there's a build guide. So no, apparently no build guide. Unless I'm missing it. Looking over all around. Yeah, and again, a loving tribute to the MS-20 filter from Korg. So that's why that little phrase was on the back of the thing. Oh, there's the build guide. It's buried. Okay. Tells you about it, bill materials, and then pictures. It's not step-by-step pictures. It's pictures of the completed board with arrows pointing to the step where you are now, which is not bad. I don't mind that at all. Main thing we want to look at past the assembly instructions is calibration. Oh, he's got a video on calibration. I don't want to watch no video. Okay. Yeah, and his point on the various settings is many of them are just to taste. It's a filter, so it's gotta match your needs, and having the various adjustments will help it do that. So let me get the soldering iron heated up and we'll start putting this thing together. First thing I'll do is separate the two boards at the score mark. Should break cleanly. Oh, broke very cleanly. And that's reasonably smooth. I don't think I'm even going to sand that. Actually, I'll sand it a little bit. Now it's smooth. Some people assemble with the boards together. I choose not to do that because when I'm ready to break the boards apart, I don't want to have my hands on a bunch of components or futzing around like that, so I don't do that. Again, some people do. That's certainly your particular taste. But the first thing we're going to do is, as always, put all the resistors on. Let me find the most common one. Should be a 10K or 100K. Yeah, 7 10Ks. So we'll put all these on, and I'll start off. Let me grab some solder. I'll start by doing what I typically do when I get a kit. These all 10K. Yep. I usually take one resistor, put it on my meter, knock stuff on the floor at the same time, put it on the meter, and see how good we are. So 9.98 for a 10K resistor. That's pretty good tolerance. Let's check one more. 9.98, good. So they're pretty consistent. Tolerance is very good on this. Now let's see how two things that are always interesting when you're putting components on. First, he does a different sequence of putting the resistors on. It doesn't really matter what order you put them on. I like to do most to least. That's why I'm doing the 10Ks first. So he would want you to do the 10 ohm ones here, the power protection ones there. So we're going to see how close to the body you have to push the leads. And I think I want to, yeah, we want to have the leads right up against the body. Now we'll see how the solder flows on the board. It should work really well. This is a fine quality board. And yeah, goes in well, and the solder wicks through the plated holes to the other side, so you get a good strong connection. Now the two transistors. Now we'll put the trimmers on. Let's see what we've got. Just to make sure we get them all in the right place. The 1K goes here, 100K goes here, and the 50K goes there. And the pins are a little messed up. This is the resonance drive adjustment. Again, that'll be one that is to your taste. You may want a grittier, growlier resonance or screechy resonance or trim to how it fits your style. Now on this one with the adjustment screw there, you can see a circle around one of the pins which is telling you put the screw on that end. And that are all the, oops, that's up a little bit. See, I got that one up a little bit. Doesn't matter electrically, but it looks kind of, it's nasty, so I'm going to heat that solder ball again and push, and there it goes, that flattened it out. Interesting that I'm going to look at the build guide again because I'm a little confused here. Yeah, the two LEDs go here, but that's going to put them behind. What? I'm going to look and see what his thoughts are on these two diodes. Now the two LEDs, be sure the orientation correct. He doesn't say why he put the LEDs on the back, but that's what we're on the backboard, but that's what we're going to do. He does recommend doing the LEDs before the trimmers, and that may be the way you want to do it most comfortably for yourself. If you have a good soldering iron and a little practice, it doesn't much matter. I mean, not soldering iron specifically, I mean soldering iron tip. One thing if you're starting out, or even if you've got a bunch of experience under your belt, make sure you try a whole bunch of different soldering iron tips to find one that really suits you and the work you like to do and the way you like to do it. Don't just assume the one that came with your iron is the best. It may be, it may turn out to be one you just happen to love working with, but you need to try a bunch of them out so you can find one that makes you the most productive and comfortable. Look at all this. Look at all this plastic bag stuff. Looking for any other electronic components? Nope, rest are all mechanical and putting the ICs on. So I'm going to pause for this evening and we'll pick it up again tomorrow. Alright, now we'll do the basic board mechanical bits, which means the pin headers and the power connector. We'll put the power connector on now. And it is a keyed power connector, which I always appreciate, but we always want to verify also because mistakes happen. So I'm going to get the power cord and put the power connector in, or just rest it in there, and we can see that the red stripe is on the side with the stripe on the circuit board, so we know that's the way it will work and we will be successful instead of, again, sad. We don't want to be sad module builders. I still don't understand why these LEDs are here. Guess we'll figure that out when we turn it on. Now let me see where I put the pin headers. There they are. And how does he want these? It doesn't really matter. It never really matters whether you put the male side on one end or the female side on the other end. I just like to do it per their guidance, because failing a reason not to, may as well do it. Now, since we've got all this foofara hanging off the back, that means, that means this is the back. So we're going to be mating the boards like so. And there's all that, so the backboard is fully assembled. So I'm going to go ahead and put the ICs on it. Now we can move on to the funnest stuff, even though I'm going to do one more thing. It's just a habit I have. I'm going to take my index card and I'm going to look at each solder joint on the board. Make sure nothing is bridged. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Just takes 15 seconds or so. I use the index card so I don't overwhelm my brain trying to look at the whole thing at one time. I'm sorry, I just confused myself. I said, now let's see if the surface mount part, that was yesterday's module. Now we'll do all the pots, switches, and jacks. He's got one B100, two A100s, one B50. The B50 is easy, that's at the top. But this B100 does not match the marking. So the B50 goes here. These are all marked as A100s, not B. And again, it matters for how the resistance ramps. You can read about linear versus audio taper on potentiometers and get a better idea than what I might be saying. So we'll put the B50 on first just because that's easy and get that out of the way. So I'm not thinking about it. Let's see how easy these clip in. Pretty easily. Two A100s, resistance and audio. So this is one section where you really do need to read the build guide because the other markings are ambiguous. Ooh, these got bent up, didn't they? And ambiguity in schematics or blueprints or instructions is never a great thing. I spent my time writing technical manuals way in the past, and being very precise is very important. I'm going to put the jacks on. The ground pin is a little springy, so it can hold them on reasonably well. You can't turn the board upside down right now, but it's better than the switch, even though this is one of the red switches, and it may be very tight in those holes. We'll see. Yeah, tight enough. It's got that bridge. Ran into this problem with another board the other week. These switches have a little ridge down the center for some reason or other. I'm not sure why. It doesn't seem mechanically relevant. But what that means is when you put them in, it rocks back and forth because it's like it's on a teeter-totter or something. It's a bad design by the switch manufacturer, but it doesn't matter, we'll make it work. And that fit on very well. Gosh, he leaves lots of space around the component holes, almost too much space, even though I'm not going to complain too much about it. I'm going to tighten this one. Panel nut down. Finger tight. just to hold the boards together, the panel and the board together. Now I'm going to solder that one. And I'm going to grab some thicker solder for the support legs on the pots, because I like to put a lot of solder on them. Because they take a lot of I'm going to wait on the switch. So that is all the soldering on this board. So I'll do the same thing as I did on the other one. Just make sure I've covered everything. All good. Now I'll spin all the panel nuts on in fast motion. Now we will mate the two boards. Make sure we've got all the pins going in the right places. That goes in. Put knobs on. Cap for the switch. Press on knobs for these folks here. Always make sure they're fully counterclockwise or you will be sad. Oh no, these are actually screws with a Allen wrench. Okay. Let me see if this will work. Nope. Back in a flash. So it's kind of half-assed, look close to each other. I'm terrible about putting knobs on. Alright, and you'll notice I didn't use the washers for the panel nuts. I never use the washers for the panel nuts. I just don't care. Plug the power cord in, and now we're ready to go. Here's the front. Here's the side. Here's the back. Here's the other side. Top and bottom. Now we'll put her in the rack and see how it sounds. We'll turn the filter all the way down. I'll take it to the middle and put in some resonance. Now we'll go low pass. And I'm going to take this down a little bit. Here's a nice muffle. You can hear the resonance really screeching. So I'm going to try some CV. We'll put my LFO into CV1. Now we'll try it in CV2. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to put an ADSR, my Befaco ADSR, into CV1. So we have different I'm going to try this slightly differently. I'm going to use I'm going to move my note trigger to my sequencer. I'm slowing this a little down so the ADSR has a chance to modify CV1, because I've got the attack really steep and you can hear it climb up. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing. I don't know if this is going to work because I don't know if it's plugged in or not. Where am I? I want to go... Where's my gate? I don't know if this is actually working. I don't know if it's plugged in. Nope, my drum isn't plugged in. But, so as you can hear, it works fine. I have to tweak some of the resonance because it's a little too aggressive, too late. So I want it to come on a little earlier. But that's just a matter of setting the pot on the back. But other than that, it sounds great. It works well with the LFO and other trigger inputs. So it's a good little unit from AI Synthesis. Going to make some nice crunchy and some round stuff for you. And I hope you enjoyed the video.